start with Michael.
Taylor, Desmond Bain, that third quarter looked like that was just building up. What was it like to see him get in that groove? And it looked like you just started to call a lot of things for him. Just how did that affect, the game from that point on?
What an impressive game by Dez. I think got foul trouble in the first half, 6 points. Drew up the first play for him. Knew we needed to get him going. He's been putting all the work. I said that before the game. Getting great looks. And I think just a credit to his teammates really finding him. There was moments late in the game. I make a couple play calls, but then after making some of those calls and you see Dez has got the hot hand, they kept wanting to go back to him. So just having that trust in each other was huge. I think one of the biggest plays was an offensive rebound. I think Ja kicks it out to DB. DB's pretty much open. Great kick. Dez wide open on the wing. What a great play by DB to find Dez. And then Dez also with some great finishes. So it's not just the shooting, like going down, finishing with contact, going to his right, 2 big-time left-handed finishes. We needed that explosion, obviously, to spark us in the third, but, tremendous effort from Dez tonight.
Parker, then
Terry. Taylor, you were talking about all the things Dez did offensively as a finisher and as a shooter, but when he's pairing those two things with his playmaking and alongside John Morant doing what he's been doing lately offensively, have you seen a scoring explosion like that from a duo like Morant and Bain tonight?
No, I think I just found out that might be the highest duo combination of points in franchise history, potentially 76. So impressive, just the balance, the way they do it. I mean, both of them scored in the paint, free throw line, finishes at the rim, 3-point shooting. Ja knocking down 4 threes. Dez obviously with 8. The Nets change up their coverages. Sometimes we're able to get downhill off the initial attack, then the ball to move around, and you're one-on-one. And are you going to settle for a 3? You're going to attack downhill, and obviously Ja is extremely gifted at that. But to see that Dez is continuing to add that to his package, going right in, going left, obviously with his elite shooting ability, when you've got that balance, individually, but then just adds more to our team to be able to attack inside and out. And great balance, 58 points in the paint, 16 threes, all around great effort by the group, but especially those two guys.
Hey, Coach, when you play a player like KD and Kyrie, and they at that clip, it's almost impossible to stop them. So what do you do or say to your team to try to at least slow them down a little bit?
Well, I think the biggest thing is staying the course. I mean, we told the guys that this morning that, we're going to definitely throw different, matchups at them. We're going to throw different coverages at them. They're, elite scorers, and they're going to get to their spots on the floor. Obviously, I think Kyrie got going late in the game. Durant in that third corner was back and forth, but, those are shots that they've hit for many, many years, and I thought our defense was really good. And trying to understand the situation. Is it an ISO? Is it a pick and roll? We adjusted some coverages and they still took advantage. He got going early in transition, so we could do a better job there. But part of it's just staying the course, knowing that hey, if they're going to score, we talked about just getting out and going, execute on the other end. We got great looks, so we actually think built a lead when he was going on that run. So just really credit to the guys. I said just staying the course, even though we were changing matchups, changing coverages. We didn't panic. We just knew we had to give them different looks. That was the game plan. And then don't forget on the offensive end, we got to go do our thing.
At any point during Dez's, mini slump here at the beginning of the season and the preseason, were you worried about the shooting?
No, never a doubt.
Coach, John and Dez finished with 7 assists each. Back here.
Yeah.
7 assists each. When they're kind of being playmakers, but how much of the game is? How do they make the game easier for everybody else when they're playmaking the way they are?
I mean, that's Grizzlies basketball at its finest. I mean, I always tell guys to be playmakers. Your first mentality needs to be score first. Try to create advantages against the defense, and then when the defense collapses, you got to be able to make the right play. So that's the responsibility we give each and every one of our guys. Obviously for those guys to come out, combine for 76 and have 14 assists, over half of our assists, that's impressive. So when you can lead the charge in that just sets an example for the rest of the group to know that we can all, everyone says we can eat. Everyone can eat when you're sharing the ball, and other guys are benefiting from the three-point line, other situations, but that's Grizzlies basketball, and for them to display that, we got to continue building on that one game at a time.
Michael?
Taylor, late in the fourth quarter, Ja's rolling the ball up the floor, not touching it, time's moving, Nets complaining a little bit, and Ben Simmons picks up his 6th foul. Just for you, 1, did you know what Ja Morant was doing in that situation? And 2, have you ever seen, anything like that?
Yes. Won't go into the details. We're going to keep that to ourselves. And occasionally, from other guards and all that stuff, but great time awareness. And, I'll just leave it at that.
Will?
Hi, Will back here. I noticed you talked about Des putting in mad work, staying in the lab and things like that. Y'all ran a lot of pin down action for him. Is that something that he specifically loves? Is that something that you decided to draw up to get him going? What drew you to that to really get him going off those pin downs, shooting up the floor with those screens from Adams?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as we've kind of studied Dez's game, his first 2 years in the league, obviously an elite shooter. He's adding more and towards, his ball handling and a downhill attack game. It's just another entry for him to be a playmaker for us. It's not just playing off his teammates and, Ja Tyus creating, out of pick and rolls. It's not just him playing off of pick and rolls. Let's use some off-ball screens with some great, screen setting, for the three, but more often than not, teams are probably going to chase him. So then him just going downhill and just building off of his finishing package that he's added. So just another way to get him on the move. He's a tough cover when he's on the move, and then he gets to be the playmaker, known as it shot, as it, drive to finish, but also he's talking on his bigs, roll, I'll find you. And I think he had one in the first half. He drove, came off an off-ball screen, kicked it out, for a three. So those decision-making opportunities are just adding more entries for him to make plays.
Thanks, Coach.
Great. Thanks, everyone.